Hey everybody, welcome to Dialog Choices Podcast.
Why? Why did it start like that?
That's how you end every standoff, right?
Sounds like we're in a medicine commercial all of a sudden. What is this? Except
Has this
not
ever
all of a
happened to
sudden
you?
it's the end.
Welcome to the podcast. Like,
Ryan Martiano asks, do you hate Twitter? If yes, what are your reasons for sticking with it anyway? Also, he
what an
says,
assumption.
also he says, I love hearing you try to say my name correctly. It's Portuguese, by the way.
No, I can say it properly.
Because one of us is the Portuguese.
Let me see. Let me.
I'll put it in chat.
Oh, Marciano.
Well,
oh,
I can do that
wait.
then.
Ryan. Wait. The letters are too little. My eyes are knackered. I can't see.
You can't read Discord?
Martiliano? It could be Brazilian Portuguese, which would be pronounced slightly different, but it's Ryan. Hey, Ryan. Thanks for the question.
The confidence went out the window immediately on you being able to pronounce his name.
Yeah, because it's different.
It was gone
Brazilian
instantly.
Yeah, it's not a Portuguese, European Portuguese common name anyway. So
well,
that's why I'm assuming.
Let us know how he did. Whoever was wrong is executed and off the show.
Well, yeah.
I can't lose.
Because he didn't say his name.
I'm not.
So I don't use Twitter. I quit Twitter.
Like actually quit Twitter? Like you don't own it at all?
Well, I do, because what's the point of deleting the thing? But I don't have it installed on my phone, and I don't visit it daily or weekly, or I don't remember when the last time was that I went there. And when I do, it's just to check the notifications. But I can tell you why I don't use Twitter, because I did use Twitter for a while. But you guys go first.
You're literally already going. Go.
Okay, well, I guess that's going to set the tone, though. I'm kind of ruining the question. Or the answer, I should say. Because the question kind of... Well, the thing is, when I started using Twitter more earnestly, because I've had an account for a while, it was always like under this looming knowledge that people know Twitter is bad. And I kind of thought I knew Twitter was bad, but like, what's so bad about this? Like, you follow certain people that post interesting things, and you trim your timeline good enough, and your friends lists and your follows good enough that nothing terrible shows up. It's mostly just cats and art, and the primary criticism that I remember when I started using Twitter more earnestly, the primary criticism that I remember seeing levied at it is that it's a terrible means of discussion. Like, you can't have an argument, you can't expose complex questions, and like, it's just all due to the fact that both it's a short message kind of platform for one, but also messages can be isolated at any one time, which allows for people to reply to specific parts of messages or quote retreat and all that sort of stuff with specific parts of like a conversation that you're having or something like that. And like all that is a terrible thing. I understood that on an intellectual level when I started using Twitter more or less seriously. This was like back in 2017, I think. I understood that. And then I came to understand it just through using Twitter, and like, oh, that's why it sucks. And it does suck. And like, we can talk about all those things. And I'm sure people who use Twitter know what I'm talking about. And everybody has their own opinion about it. But for me, the biggest problem, though, is and it's a problem that I think a lot of people see as well, is just the toxicity that it breeds. And it's not down to it's not down to how toxic people themselves are when they use Twitter. It's just that Twitter as a platform serves for people to vent and then reinforces, like, and leads people, and namely you as a user, leads people to see those venting posts and the problems that people have. They go on Twitter and they say, oh, today I did this or this happened and it sucked. And like the engagement that people get out of that is more, I think it's more rewarded algorithmically, for the word, than other types of content, which means that even though my platform, and not platform, but my wall, or what is it called in Twitter? The timeline, yeah. Even though my timeline was trimmed and did like all, it was, I really kept it, I kept it as clean as I could. It ended up just every once in a while, and more and more recently, just being doom scrolling up for after a few years. It just ended up being, sometimes just going on Twitter was terrible because just people were upset, and Twitter knew to show that sort of content to me. And obviously people who I either have, well, more than anything, people I just have a parasocial relationship with because I follow them on Twitter, but some of them I have an internet relationship with. And so all those I would have more of, even though it's parasocial, it still matters that people are upset, right? So that affects you. And it's just like, it's the opposite of Instagram in a way, because Instagram is like everything is peachy and like everything is meant to be picture perfect and all that, or not meant, but it's like the platform is designed to reward that. But Twitter is like, here's the toilet now, and you're here to see people suffer, and you'll love it, hate it. And it's just it is designed like that. It, like, maybe not on purpose, but definitely on purpose. Like, maybe not from the beginning is what I'm trying to say. It's the algorithm has been designed to increase engagement to a level where it knows that shit and like people being shitty or people having a terrible time. I don't know. They're like, it's
person
not all that,
calling
though.
out person for bad happen.
Yeah,
is how you can maximize
absolutely.
engagement on a social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's not
that
all
not
that
what humans
though.
live for. Conflict.
It's all that Twitter gives humans to live for.
Yeah.
Finally, purpose.
It's what it very much tries to do, is just serve you up that forever.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that it doesn't allow you to have like different, like, imagine you want to have a page where you just see your art follows or your art posts, or you have a page where you see news and comments on news, or you have a page where you see, you know, all the sort of interesting things that you could do with content driven algorithms. You could do that. You could allow people to prune their timelines and prune their viewing habits in a way that gives them control. But that, you know, giving control to the user is the worst thing for a social media network. And this applies to Twitter, but it applies to everything like Facebook and YouTube and everything. And you know, that's why things like autoplay or your mix playlists on YouTube are terrible. Is because it takes control from the viewer. Don't fall into that trap. It's bad. But Twitter is that trap always. Unless you're not on the front page, I suppose. In which case, it is still that trap if you're in big posts, because the comments themselves are trimmed for your viewing pleasure. And by pleasure, I mean, you know, not.
Going through the dashboard. I was trying to think of what you mean by the front page. I'm like, that's just like the timeline, right?
The timeline.
That's all it really is,
sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think Andrew and I both use Twitter really differently than most people use Twitter.
I can assure you we do.
Like back when I was in the closet, I just followed a bunch of leftist video essayists, and so it was kind of like it kind of looped back into like the latest drama, or like the latest like Jordan Peterson or Ben Shapiro said this today and blah blah blah. But ever since I've been out, I've just been following every single furry artist that isn't adult content, and So now my timeline is just like big chested wolf dudes, and that's just like that's just what Twitter is now. It's so much furry art. Like the algorithm, like that's because it's I just like, only interact with that, and so at some point that's all that it serves to me, and it just creates an infinite loop where they keep suggesting more artists. Because when you follow the other artists, then the people that those artists follow or like or reply to are then put on your timeline, even though you don't follow them. Now you're like, well, I'm going to follow that guy too now. And then it just keeps going and going, and it keeps like furry radicalizing you. And this is easily the best way to use Twitter. Like, this is so much better. If you think my retweets are bad, you should see my likes.
Oh my God. You can literally go see his likes right now.
It's possible.
It is.
I'm seeing them right now.
I mostly in Colonel's
also,
in the
if
field.
If you're a furry artist that's listening to this and I've interacted with your posts but didn't follow you, it's just because I don't follow any 18 plus accounts. But sometimes I like some of the not 18 plus posts on the account and then move on.
Wow.
But because it's like my weird public profile thing, I don't like follow anything that's that way. Because Twitter's stupid. And even if you don't like or retweet any of the adult content, Twitter will just be like, hey, here's an adult post on your timeline. Here's who follows them. And it's like the person, it's not even like this person liked this and we're showing it to you for that reason, which was what we've complained about in the past. It's like likes became, apparently likes became retweets at some point. But sometimes now they'll just show you something that somebody follows and just blame it on them. And I'm like, they didn't even interact with that post. Fuck you, Twitter. It's weird. You follow because like you follow this or that account and you see like somebody's spreading their asshole on Twitter unbidden, and it's like not only are you not following the account that posted it, but the person that it's blaming for showing it to you also didn't interact with that post. So it's like, all right, Twitter, come on, man, you did this, Twitter.
You spread the asshole.
And let's be honest, you have enough AI to know what that picture is. You know what it is.
Does it?
You can't trick me.
I'm sorry.
Twitter is weird. Nobody under 18 should be allowed to make an account.
Yes, that's.
I can't
imagine.
It's so overwhelmingly full of adult content anyway, and people who just like go around in their adult account and just casually interact with people like it's a normal social media account while they're like in a pup mask or something. It's like it's such a trip of a website that like the fact that anyone underage is even allowed on the website is just like a mistake. Like that doesn't make sense.
I can't imagine what social media. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say that was the issue that Tumblr itself ran into. I was like, how do I make this a site for everyone when it's just a porn site, but with other stuff on it?
Even Tumblr was less. I think Tumblr was still less algorithmic. Like you I think it still showed you the people you were following and the things that they reblogged. So at least then it was like controllable. But Twitter's
timeline was a lot more controllable. Yeah, so your timeline on Tumblr was a lot more controllable, but if you looked up literally anything, you'd be fucked. So you had to rely on the people that you had to like build a network of trust because you could not go to the search bar. If you typed in anything, chances are either you're going to get spoiled on something or you're going to see nudity. And like that was your only two options. And so generally people would be like, all right, I'm going to like follow people that I know aren't going to fuck me over. And then I know they're just going to retweet stuff or like reblog stuff that I like. Problem solved. Twitter is just like, you know what? I'm going to cut out the whole middleman. Here's everything you don't want. Here's everything you do want. And now they're going to do a battle like Fortnite Battle Royale in the center of your timeline. And one of them's going to win. Mm-hmm. And it's never going to be the one you want. And you're like, awesome. I'm glad I came here today. That's but I just use Twitter to look at
conversation.
Nice. I have not. I've been doing more adult things. But
fuck you.
I have Oh yeah, let's go. I've been trying to figure out how to generate an SCR for my stupid fucking NGINX server, so that way I can update its goddamn SSL certificate, so my stupid fucking website doesn't look like it's there to steal your credit card info. So, but
Oh, those aren't nice.
If I don't browse Twitter, how will I see the 500th furry artist who interprets that one cartoon F into an anthro character?
Exactly.
Do you know about this?
I don't know.
Do you know about the F?
There's a letter F?
No, I don't.
There was someone did what is being called like the alphabet anime on Twitter, which is that they did it. They animated every single letter one by one as a separate tweet, as like a huge thread series thing. But what started off as just like, oh, it's the letter and it talks and it says its own letter in maybe a funny voice or something.
It's like a Pokemon.
They were all like just like a few seconds long. But then one of them was introduced as like the antagonist suddenly, and then it started having a plot. And then as each character was introduced all the way, and every episode was still the every episode was still the introduction of the next like letter and so on. But it got more and more absurd until there was like these big multi-minute animations and a plot and like character arcs, and it got really really advanced. But also people have been both anthropomorphizing and looting the letter F.
Okay.
I have seen hundreds of examples.
I can find this Twitter anime.
I haven't
app.
seen anyone like from you, Keith. Is it all horny?
What?
Oh, I just found one. No, I was looking at your likes and I didn't see a single F character. And
I'm not. It's not full of me constantly liking. I don't like the F character that much, but
I see.
What is it? What is it called? Does it have a name? Like F can't be its name because
Twitter.
It's a letter. Twitter F does not do anything. Do not worry about that.
How would I look this up?
Indeed,
that's what I'm saying. Like, how would you look that up?
And that's the other thing. Like Twitter does this thing, or it used to, or sometimes it does, where if you're scrolling down or if you're moving in the front in the timeline, sometimes it will refresh the top of the timeline and add more posts. Now this happens automatically, and usually it works. And like you don't see anything, it's seamless. Like you just there's more posts up there, but it's totally fine. But usually once every 20 minutes, maybe it will actually shift the timeline that you're looking at when you're scrolling, which means that you were looking at a post and then it disappeared.
I hate that. Sometimes you like you look at an image and it like really catches your attention, and right when you're registering what you're even looking at,
it's gone.
It just disappears from the middle of your timeline. You're like,
and then you want to look it up.
You're like, did they?
If you want to look it up, it's impossible because search is impossible to use.
Yeah, no. Twitter doesn't work.
No,
I try to find tweets that I know I made because I want to reference them or quote them or even just like reference something that happened at some point. I can never find them. Your best chance is to use Google to search for your tweets, but even that's like a shit show because you often have to like put in quotes the exact phrasing of what you did and all that. Man, this is a bad time for me to reference the F because like we're not in the thick of it anymore. Like this is like a last week kind of situation. So like it's like dead to the internet, and it's like such bad SEO that it's just called F. I don't know if there is any like unified keyword I can look at. There was one person whose account was entirely like they'd switched their profile to being the F, and their entire timeline was just them tweeting everything F related continually. Like if I could find that's like the gold mine. But I don't even know if I follow that person or not, or if I just saw them. But like this was just an endless well of Fs. It was so much.
An endless well of Fs.
Yeah, because he had a tragic backstory, and like they made him sympathetic by the end, and it was just like a whole thing. It was just a whole fucking thing. It was such an example of like the weird beauty of the absurdity of bullshit that happens on the internet. And it's also this kind of weird fanaticism over an individual character or idea where everyone just goes and obsesses over one thing this hard is like exactly what I love about the furry fandom. Like it's exactly like Blythe or Mr. Wolf for the other stuff, but like this one was just the F. It was just F. And everyone, and like my timeline was 50% pictures of F, and 50% people be like, why is everybody horny for F today? And then getting caught up on why the thing is, and then posting 2 hours later like, actually I like the F, as it turns out, and like having realization about the F.
What an arc to go through.
I'm trying to message Toaster. I'm like, I'm trying to show the guys the F, but I don't know how.
I'm trying to hurt them. Please give me the ammo for my gun. Like, I've
tried searching databases. I can't find anything about the F anymore.
It's fine. I just figured it sounded like such a dumb thing to try to SEO, because how the fuck do you SEO a letter?
Oh, fuck.
There's no way.
Hashtag alphabet friends. Is that it?
Probably. Oh, Stell Lizard. This is like, here's a guy whose avatar is currently the F. Oh yeah, his media tab's full of drawings of the F.
I was looking through the likes of an artist who liked an artist who Keith liked, and I found the hashtag alphabet friends. That's it. And it's all
we
F.
did it.
Like F is, yeah.
We solved it live.
Why?
He usually looks like a T-Rex, because that's what the letter F looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone's just turning him into a person. There's so much art of it.
I get it.
Here's an Evangelion parody.
Okay. This is a lot. Wow. This is
it moves so fast because it's an absurd little creative space of people who can just make stuff all day, and they all just like feedback loop off of each other, and so stuff just like people like the fandom will just find a sweater they like, and then everyone's character is drawn on that sweater all of a sudden, or the fucking like they really attached like the Jacko pose when that was happening, and like the last week it was the F. Everyone liked the F, so there was 100 pictures of the F.
I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing I'm seeing T get some traction here.
T is pretty. Yeah, T is good.
I'm looking at getting some traction.
Like F clearly stands out as the best. Maybe like Q is kind of cute.
These are ridiculous.
T is pretty cool as well. T is a shark. Oh my god, of course.
This is definitely like what I expect to see on Twitter. That's pretty much the kind of shit that I am used to seeing.
Yeah.
I think for me, Twitter is like pretty much just a repository for art. Like I use it to find or look at art. Like I would do for DeviantArt, except DeviantArt is not fun to go and look for art on. So that's like the problem I run into. But Twitter's like just a springboard for me more than anything. Like I've mostly stopped posting for myself, and I just go like, that's a cool picture, retweet. And I'll just do that, or someone will say something that I agree with, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll retweet that. It's usually like I don't know. I think most of my retweets are from like somebody being like, man, fuck this thing that everyone should hate. I'm like, yeah, I agree. All right, done. And then I move on with life. But it's mostly anime art. Like that's about it. And I don't know what else. Like I don't find much value in interaction on Twitter. I find that the most fun I can have in interaction is I'll go on like some kind of news article that's really popular, and usually I'll look and see what kind of shitty memes are being posted by like some political party. I don't care who it is. And find the one that I think looks the most pathetic. Like somebody clearly did this in just a few seconds. And the idea is not bad. It's just it looks like shit, and it's so poorly executed and dumb. And then I'll take it and I'll make a really good quality version of it and then post it back to them. More just to like be rude. Like, here, look, this is what I could do. And you could not, LOL, and then just move on. And I find those get pretty good traction. People will like those a lot on Twitter. And I don't know if they're liking it for the meme or they're liking it for the really subtle jab I'm doing for somebody, but I think it's probably just the meme. And that's it though. Like, why would you talk to somebody on Twitter is like the thing that blows my mind. Is that I see people talking with one another, and I don't know why they're doing that or how they're doing that. Like, is that Isn't that unpleasant? It's like Reddit, right? Isn't it just like a bunch of people who you're never going to agree with saying really bad things in like an alarmingly large quantity, and you just have to be like, no guys, let's not commit like mass atrocities to humanity. And it's like, no, here's like 500 responses while you're a fucking cuck. And you're like, well, okay, why am I here? What am I doing on this website? I'm clearly not supposed to be here. But God, are you guys that enamored by letters? Jesus Christ.
Well, I found so there are
I come back to Discord, there's a fucking million of these fucking letters. What is going on?
I found them. I was trying to find the examples, and then I found them because there are various websites in which you archive all of the furry art, and some of them are very impressively well tagged. And the tag,
does that count? What animal is that?
And it doesn't matter.
That should matter.
Is it furry? Is it furry?
I mean,
then there it is.
No, it's not. That's literally the thing. It's not.
Sometimes any level of anthroing something counts as being furry. Like sometimes planes count as furry. But anyway, there are various websites, and on this website that if people know what I'm talking about, the tag I found was alphabet _ Mike Salcedo, or Mike Salcedo, SALCEDO.
Is Mike the creator?
So that's it must be him. So like that's the tag on the furry website. I was like, where's the fucking? There has to be a tag for this. Everyone was freaking out about it. And that's how you find F. The character is called F. Mike Salcedo.
Is it the glutamate website? Glumatate?
Oh, the MSG website? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was posting the safe for work results.
Mm-hmm.
We're not in that stage of our relationship.
That's okay.
But anyway, witnessing that bullshit is a great use of Twitter. I really appreciate that element of having a Twitter account.
Art really is like the only benefit of Twitter. Is like
if you're not completely immersing yourself in art continually, then you just get served depression. Because Twitter just wants to make you angry all the time. But if you like art enough that some categories of art or someone get a strong response from you, then you end up using Twitter for art the way that other people use it for politics. And then Twitter is like, oh, he really likes this. And then it serves it up to you the same way it would politics. That's why I called it furry radicalization, because like that's whatever kind of art you're into, you'll get more and more niche artists that do the thing. And then if you're that type of person to commission people, they're like, aha, I found an artist with only 100 followers, and it only costs $30 to get them to draw this really cool thing instead of 600, because that's the power curve on artists. That's fun.
That's a pretty high curve.
I got to do the thing where I was like, I got to share somebody's art a few months ago, and be like, y'all, this guy only has 6 followers. This is fucked up. And now the guy has twice as many followers as I do. I'm like, I started it. I made his stuff be engaged with at all, and then he had like a viral piece of art like a month later, I think. Now he has more followers.
There you go.
I'm like, there you go. That's justice in the world. You're not supposed to be unknown. This is bullshit.
That's justice.
It's pretty cool.
I don't like it when anyone who's talented has fewer followers than me, which admittedly I also feels like a pretty low bar. I don't even have 4,000 followers. So if someone's talented and I have more followers than them, I'm like, we need to fix this.
I'm not even close. I'm not even close to like 1,000 followers on Twitter. So like,
I can give you dozens of followers. Whoever feels like paying attention to me that day. No, I mean the artists that are talented, not you.
Oh, good. Yes, good. Don't give me anything. I don't want to be known. I don't want to be seen on Twitter. Just leave me alone.
Your flame does not need oxygen.
No, it doesn't. Just leave me alone. That's the one thing I like about the internet is that
as one of your longest term followers ever. I remember when he used to. I remember when Twitter used to be chronological, but kind of in the wrong direction, and it didn't have threads. So you would just like post 100 tweets in a row about one thing in one continuous rant. And not only would it fill my entire timeline, but I had to scroll all the way past it to read it in the correct direction. Because you would just spew words. I have a really specific memory of driving, like first year of college. I was driving all the way down to Santa Barbara, I think, and we stopped at a we stopped like one of those like mega gas stations. You know, like in the middle of a desert, there's like a place that has like 3 competing gas stations and like 5 places to eat that all share a building. Like those kinds of weird places. We're stopped there, and we were stopped in a place like that and eating like Subway or something, and I'm just scrolling through the infinite scroll that is Andrew's 2012 rant. Or 2009 rant or something, just losing your goddamn mind.
Yeah,
we've been on Twitter longer than some of the people listening to this have been alive. I hope not. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be here. Actually, you're way too young.
Yeah,
are they?
But if our YouTube accounts are a decade old, our Twitters are older.
I mean, they're probably on TikTok, and there's nothing worse you can do to yourself. So I think that's fine. They could be here.
Joined. Oh, I just checked. Themselves. Joined March 2009.
Mm-hmm.
At least Twitter and high school never existed at the same time for me.
Yeah, I was really fortunate that, or both of us were really fortunate. We went to school prior to social media being really a thing. Like MySpace, I still don't count MySpace too much as a social media because MySpace
was like a shitty blog. And
it was
the
like
internet was better
mundane.
back then. And then Facebook was where some people shared memes a little bit, and it wasn't our lives.
Well, it's because I think it helped a lot that the internet didn't have algorithms yet, right? It was still in that infancy where it was like, okay, well, if you're friends with somebody, you could see what your friends like.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a robot that knew anything. And now, like, social media is just a robot performing. Like, social media in the current age is basically just a sentient machine trying to kill humanity as fast as possible. It wants you to be so just hateful and spiteful and miserable about being around your fellow humans that it is like speed running human extinction. It will do whatever it can to just be like, hey, are you feeling down? I've got 15 articles about dogs being stepped on. Let's go. And you're like, why are you doing this to me? Like, what the fuck? And it's like, yeah.
People I don't think fully grasp how boring social media used to be in like a frankly good way. Because like you used to just be friends with your friends. Like you'd send a request and then they would accept it. And then like people just posted text, or they took pictures of like them on vacation or their food or whatever, or selfies and their dogs and things. And then you could just like it or comment on it. And all of your feed was probably chronological or whatever. There was always some guy who spammed too much or whatever. And like all of the things you saw on your timeline were actually posted by your friends. Not like weird suggested people or viral people or algorithmically, we're showing you this anyway, or you're somebody you know commented on this that isn't someone you're friends with. Like it would just passively show you the messages as if you'd signed up to get updates from those people, essentially. Whereas nowadays it's this endless abyss of infinite stuff, and it just wants to make you angry. And also, like, your parents didn't used to be on social media because they didn't get it, because computers and so on, and like smartphones weren't a thing people mostly understood back then. Even like it was all weird and new. So like your parents weren't there, so they weren't joining like weird conspiracy Facebook groups and then sharing the bullshit that they heard that they think is true now, and like all of these ideas didn't exist. It fundamentally just didn't work that way, even though in many cases they were the same websites. It's just very strange. Things suck, and they didn't have to be, but it was profitable to suck.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's how you make the money, and everything is about the money. Otherwise, you would just have a good world, and you can't have that because that's not profitable. No. But yeah, I'm really fortunate. I grew up without. I went to school without having real social media, because I think that would have been truly a miserable experience. I think I would have like, yeah, I think I would have like had seriously crippling depression if I was forced to endure social media as it is today, back when I was like going through puberty. That sounds awful. This just sounds like genuinely awful. I don't know, man. It just
You realize that's what happens to millions of people right now.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like
imagine growing to school in the
not,
era of cyberbullying.
I'm just imagining like,
let alone
think
like
of it in
God, like we didn't. The concept of revenge porn didn't exist when we were in school.
No, it did not. I mean, it was a thing that existed, but we didn't.
It's a thing that happened to like two celebrities.
No. I mean, it was a very common occurrence. It just, again, we didn't have the systems in place. Like, we didn't have porn websites that were so easy to upload to.
Not
like
the way you
could,
YouTube. Yeah, not in the way that you would send it to everybody somehow.
But yeah, I super remember people like uploading it to like MySpace or something. They'd find like cheeky ways to do stuff like that. Look, humans have always been trash. You can't just, the internet was never a non-trashy place. It was just harder to be trashy.
Which
it's just
sometimes just being a little harder is all it takes for people to just not do it.
Not be.
Yeah. No, I mean,
it's work.
You think of it a comparison here. In order to hurt a child the same, like on the internet, the way that is so easy to do now, because it's just, you can do it like breathing. But back then, the only way you could really hurt a child the same way is you would have to take them in front of a studio audience of like thousands of people and then ask them, hey, what do you think about shoelaces? And then they'd be like, shoelaces are hard because you have to tie in a weird shape. And then someone just gets to go like, wow, this fucking kid's an idiot. Why didn't they just throw him in the trash and then eject him into the sun? And then you get that like 1,000 times over. And then everyone is saying that to you by retweeting it. And then it goes on Ellen. And then Ellen's like, yeah, why didn't they eject that kid to the sun? And now like 1 million people saw it. And now everyone's pointing at this kid and going like, eject to the sun. And that kid's like, I just didn't understand shoelaces. What the fuck happened in my life? Like, that's what we can do now.
Got canceled before canceled exists.
I mean, I don't think you can cancel a kid. That's a little late for that. That's just called murder now. But it's just it is crazy how fast you could ruin someone's life. Especially someone that's young, that has literally no reason to be in front of anybody, right? Like, I don't think a teenager should ever be presenting themselves in front of more than like whatever their classroom is, like 30 kids. That should be like the most amount of people that interact with him on a day-to-day basis is like maybe less than like 100 kids or something at a school.
I got interrupted. Are we talking about the idea that any kind of cringy moment that a child had can become a viral thing and that just chases them for the rest of their life?
Yeah, that's the rest of your life now. Is like it's just some stupid shit you posted on Twitter when you were like 12 years old, and now you're like 35. You're like, what the fuck, guys? I'm sorry. I didn't think about it before I posted it. My bad.
I think about this in terms of like when people treat tweets like they're news, like those types of articles.
Yeah.
Because like, I saw a tweet that was calling out people for being racist about the Luke Cage show when it came out. And like, I looked at the various people being quoted, and like, they were just like, some of them were shitty people, and some of them were just like kind of like one tweet kind of out of context. And some of them are just literally just kind of saying like vaguely like they didn't like it or care about it or something. And not anything specifically overtly racist, but because they were posting them alongside all these other tweets, it makes them all sound racist by association and so on, because they're on a big wall of tweets. So it's like, oh, that person's racist. And so, but like the person's like, they're so clueless. They're like, how do I delete a tweet and stuff like that? Like they're like that, this level they're on.
Oh no.
And all the rest of their tweet, and like all they did was say they just didn't like the show or care about it or something, and they didn't actually say anything racist. And the rest of their timeline was them trying to draw Metroid or something. Like, it was just a child, and like this fucking child is being reported by a supposed news agency for their innocuous tweet because that person just was fucking word searching Luke Cage stuff to like find people who were so angry so that he could like just show everyone how angry these people are and just get clicks off of the like not that they noticed racism and were like, and here's a post to show this big problem, but like they very clearly were like, I have decided there will be racism about this thing because it features a black person, so I'm going to just preemptively make an article about that, and I'll just search for the evidence afterwards. And that's how they read the article. And like, and the people in their crossfire are children, and they don't care. They don't even check. It took 2 seconds to be like, that's a child. Don't do that.
But do we know that that child wasn't going to grow up to be racist? I mean,
they might now.
Yeah, so we stopped somebody today. It was a success, I'd say. We prevented racism, and we get all champagne glasses now. Cheers. I mean, that's the thing though, is like that. How terrifying is that? How terrifying is that kid has his tweet on there, and some news agency, which by the way doesn't have to legally do anything about that, right? Like they don't. Like as a 14-year-old kid gonna sue like the New York Times for like being quoted in a news article. And so like, yeah, kids just like, yeah, now you're a racist kid. Like, and I don't know, I'm imagining like those the people like parents, you imagine some parent who like probably has seen Twitter on whatever shitty news thing that they watch on TV for some reason still, and they're starting to get like, I don't know, the school maybe calls them and is like, hey, just letting you know, like your kid was featured on an article about being racist. And like, how do you explain to your mom? Like, no, mom, I'm not being racist. This is a news article saw a tweet where I didn't like a superhero show, and so they said that I was racist. Like, I don't know. That's just not that. I'm just glad I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to think about it. It's not my problem, not my circus. And if you put it on a ballot, I will make Twitter illegal tomorrow. Like, I will vote for it to be illegal. So I'm super okay with doing whatever it takes to kill social media, but I am just also thankful it's not. I never have to interact with it in that kind of way, because nobody knows where I am. Nobody knows me. I don't say anything stupid. I just like and retweet anime pictures, and I get to live my life pretty comfortably.
Everybody go observe Andrew.
Please do not leave me alone. I mean, you can come and look at my timeline. It's got great photos on there, great pictures, great artists. 100% recommend going and checking out every artist I've ever retweeted because they are fucking stellar. But do not interact with me. Don't send me messages. Don't like my tweets. You can like the tweets of the art that I like, but don't like my tweets personally. All of that's too much for me.
You can only like his tweets if you don't know Andrew.
No, especially don't like my tweets if you don't know me, because then I'm scared. It's stranger danger. Do they not teach that anymore? It's a very important thing. Strangers are dangerous.
Stranger danger wasn't really a thing. That was the myth we grew up with.
What do you mean it wasn't really a thing?
Well, because the whole kidnapping craze, the whole kidnapping scare was kind of a false concept, because by far you're pretty much always kidnapped by somebody you know. Like the idea, it's like the entire premise was just kind of false, and so it led to people warning against and being blind, warning against the wrong things and being blind to the real dangers and so on. But it did inform our entire childhoods, where our parents just didn't want us to go anywhere without telling them all the time, and it was totally not exhausting.
I think the problem is that it rhymes. I had that concept.
It's pretty good rhyme.
I had that concept as a kid, but it didn't inform my entire or anything to that extent, because it didn't rhyme. So it's like
it didn't rhyme.
I mean, you just said don't go into a white van with a stranger. Don't do that. That's it. I mean, it doesn't need to be white. Any van.
Yeah, I was fortunate in that my family knew who I was, and they had no interest in being around me as much as possible. So I had no chance of being kidnapped by them. And the only time the only time I tried to get kidnapped was, I think, because my sister was with me, and so I think they wanted my sister more than they wanted me. So that worked out pretty well for me, because I know stranger danger, and also I'm not stupid. Like, how, I don't know. I'm not, but I wasn't stupid enough to fall for the trap. I don't want to be rude, but like I wasn't stupid enough to fall.
Even
for it. Maybe
Andrew
this guy
for
was
a
bad
minute there was like, should I walk this back?
Yeah. I thought about it. I thought it is a tragedy, but I think the guy that tried to kidnap us was really bad at it. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe he was just bad at kidnapping, and so I figured it out ahead of time. But
What a noob.
yeah, right. He was an idiot. He literally just the stupidest thing you could ask a kid is, "Hey, get in my car and help me find my dog." No, you idiot. Dogs are running around outside. It's easier to find them walking. Come the fuck on. What, were you born yesterday? Dude, I'm not going to get in a car to go find a dog. What if we miss it? What if it's sitting there taking a shit and we drive past super fast because there's speed limits on the road? I don't know. Maybe I'm a guy who's had a dog once or twice and know how to find a lost dog.
You weren't
stupid.
even like,
Don't come at me.
I see. He's trying to kidnap me. I've outsmarted him. You're like, that's a stupid way to catch a dog. I'm going to look for the dog my way. And then you did.
Yeah, exactly.
Get kidnapped.
Yeah, so all I'm thinking is that you just need to teach your kids to be arrogant about knowing what they know. And then they'll never get kidnapped because someone will be like, "Hey, do you want free candy?" Why would I want free candy when I could just wait till Halloween and get a shit ton of free candy? Why would I get it from you right now?
Why does
waste time? I don't know. I don't know. Free candy isn't even an offer. Kidnapping is usually like they usually tell you they need your help doing something, right? So it's usually an urgency type of thing. Hey, your mom's in the hospital. I need to take you to your mom. No, if my mom was in the hospital, I'd know because she would never fucking stop calling me about it. 2, if like, or they would come up and tell you, yeah, like, oh, I'm missing someone. Like my daughter's missing, my dog's missing, my cat's missing, my fucking house is missing. And then you just like tell them, well, I'm not gonna, I mean, like, obviously, if something's missing, it's better for someone to be in a car looking and someone for on the ground to be looking, right? You have eyes on the ground, eyes in the car, maybe call the police, they can get eyes in the sky.
Please, someone, can you bring my house back?
Yeah. Like, if you're missing a house, you don't want to be asking just 2 kids for a house. You want to be asking the community to find your house, right? So don't just leave it to 2 kids. It's stupid. You wouldn't just ask 2 kids to do it. One of these kids can't even ride a bicycle. How the fuck's it going to help you? It's not going to even remember the name of the stupid dog you told it. It's a stupid child, dumb, patting it on the head, pushing it over. Like, don't ask children to help you with anything. So if anybody's asking children to help, that's already dangerous. Don't listen to them. And finally, if any grown adult is talking to you that isn't your family member, why? Unless you've committed a crime and it's a police officer, why the fuck are you talking to me? I'm a kid. We do not relate in any category. So unless you're telling me that I dropped my phone or you're arresting me for stealing that phone that I dropped, then there's no reason for you to be talking to me, adult. I am just a child. Leave me alone. I'm going home. That is the best. There you go. Stranger danger talk. Easy done. Don't talk to anybody ever. Why are you talking to people? This is how social media gets started. And this is how you get canceled for being a stupid kid saying you don't like Nick Cage on social media. Don't talk to people. Stop it.
You'll get a social media. Do you want to get a social media?
Exactly. This is how you get social media.
This is how
Stop
you get
talking
social
to
media.
people.
Turn into a giant free associative nightmare rant. Just everything. What it was like an Andrew like Vsauce episode. Like you just kind of I'm so lost.
Anyways, I did almost get kidnapped, and the only downside was I had to take a different route back home, and that sucked ass because it was a longer route to get home. But my mom's like reaction, like, because it's just a mom in the 90s, right? What's she gonna do?
It was the stranger, and you were in danger.
Yeah, but she's not gonna go on Facebook and tell anybody. Like, doesn't
As the
exist
fates
yet.
foretold.
And so yeah, it's just basically like, all right, well, don't walk that way home because maybe he's looking for you. I'm like, he has a car. Like, he could go anywhere. What do you mean? Like, no, we did it for like so I did it because she would watch us when we walk because always she's too scared. She thought we were gonna get kidnapped again or whatever. So she watched us walk because that was the road she took to go to work. So she would basically she'd basically take us to work and then drop us off on like the way. And so then we'd have to get out of the car at some point and then walk to school. And so we did that for a while until she was like late once. And then it spiraled where she was like, I was late and now I don't have time to bring you. So like, make sure you walk the right way or whatever. And I didn't because I'm not, it's longer. And so then it just spiraled. She's like, well, I trust that you're doing it because you're doing it right. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. And so I just never walked that way again. And then I just went my normal route.
How long did she think they'd be watching?
I look again, no Facebook, so no updates on whether this stranger got himself in danger. So no one would know, and she just had to assume that the guy is just out there forever prowling for children. I guess hunting the children he didn't get. Like, why would you even do that?
Makes it sound like a Metal Gear
fine.
Solid NPC that like is in permanent, like they're just like glitched out and permanently in alert mode, and so just like
the car is permanently parked there, and he's just always waiting.
He's just standing in the middle of the street spinning.
Oh my god, I would be terrified. Actually,
like the music never stops playing for alert mode.
Could you imagine how genuinely terrifying that would be? As if you encountered someone trying to kidnap you, and you're like, "Oh, I escaped. That was pretty good." And you go the next day, and he's still in the middle of the street, just like waiting for you. I would be actually terrified. I'd be like,
he just points at you and screams.
Yeah. He's like, "I will never let you escape." I'm like, "What? I don't even know you, dude. What happened? Why did this get so serious?" He just turns into a crypt and he starts running at me, and I'm like, I gotta go to school, man. I gotta get to school. Like, that's I don't know. I don't know anybody who's ever been kidnapped either. Do you know anybody who's ever been kidnapped?
No,
I don't think I do.
They'd probably be dead.
Yeah, that's not true. Whoa, way to kill some parents' hope. Some kids could be turned up alive. There was that one kid who went missing for like 19 years.
He probably went to college in captivity, and now he's got a girlfriend and everything. And then they let him go. And he's like, it's just a whole new life. I'm entertaining the absurdity that they just went on and had a life while they were, kidnapped and totally live the whole time somehow.
No, it was actually the college that kidnapped them. That's how they're getting the money now, because it's really hard to get people to sign up because it's so expensive. So now they kidnap kids and force them to go to college.
You're gonna have student debt whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and so parents claim their kids are kidnapped because they don't want to pay the student debt. So they just say like, my kid went missing, don't know where it went. So then, no one has to pay the debt now. So it works out pretty well. Strong economy. I don't know. That's the weird thing too is I don't remember, like, so that happened, right? He tried to kidnap me and my sister, and I don't think any other kids got kidnapped. Like, I don't remember like going to school and being like, "Oh, sorry, Timmy like went missing and we can't find him anymore." Like, so I'm assuming he gave up.
He really
tried
was
once
looking
and was
for
like,
his dog. And then he found his dog.
He seemed quite perturbed when when the more that people were around, he seemed a lot more uncomfortable about it. And he was very insistent. Like, my sister was, very young, and also, again, not the kind of person you would ever talk to for help, because she was very adamant about getting in the car and looking for this dog. She was like, "But he's missing his dog. We have to help him." I was like, "No, we don't have to help him." Yeah, I was like, "Why are we gonna do that? Obviously we could just go home and then play some fucking Nintendo. Why are we gonna help a guy find a dog? Not my dog."
He's dead to me.
But right, like, but also very suspicious. Guy didn't have a picture of his dog, so I'm gonna be real with you. If you can't show me what your dog looks like, I don't trust you. You better have a fucking missing poster if you're coming and looking for kids' help. Like, do not expect my imagination to fill in the blanks, because you're going to tell me brown dog with floppy ears, and I'm going to imagine Godzilla, but with floppy ears. So I'm not this is a very all suspicious. But yeah, no, it was basically like we sat there and I kept saying, "No, I don't want to do that." And my sister kept saying, "Yes, I want to get in the car with the stranger." And eventually there was somebody that I knew across the street. She ran like a daycare center, and she babysit my cousins because they were like in kindergarten or whatever. And so she saw us standing there, obviously being accosted at this point now by a grown man in an unmarked vehicle, asking two random kids that she knew weren't his to get into a car. And so like I saw her, I waved to her, and the guy just kind of was like, "I gotta go find my dog," and like left. I was like, "Oh, okay, that worked out, I guess. Going home." And this would have been fine had I been a smarter child and just left my sister alone, like I was planning to do, because she couldn't ride a bicycle, right? Because she's too stupid to do that. She was very young, so she was too stupid to do anything except for basically sit in a chair for like 3 hours or whatever the fuck how long school is for kindergartners or first graders.
They don't sit in chairs in kindergarten.
Well,
plot twist. Your entire childhood's a lie. Are you a simulation?
Look at that. She's even stupider than I thought. She couldn't even sit in a chair for 3 hours. So she's so stupid she can't even sit in a chair. And I had a bicycle, and so normally I biked to school because, again, not stupid. I can bike, and because I had to walk with her because my mom couldn't pick us up or couldn't pick her up early, or no, my grandma couldn't pick her up early. So because that happened, I had to walk with her home. So if I was just a smarter kid, I had left her alone, then I wouldn't have got accosted by a man. I would have gone home. I would have played my Nintendo, and then I would have been an only child. So honestly, at the end of the day, I think I'm the one who lost out in this deal. But yeah, so I don't use social media that way. I just like art. It's fun. It's a fun
so
place. So
Andrew and I have
and
solved Twitter, and if you do it any other way, you're doing it wrong, and that's your fault. You're playing right into their trap, their plan, their scheme.
I also recommend if you're somebody who is putting your snooty sniffer, what
they're right there,
snout. If you're putting your snooty snout up in the air and going like, oh, I don't use Twitter, I use Reddit, then same process applies here.
Wait,
if you're using
cringe.
Reddit, I would recommend using Reddit only for either your hobby, like as in like literally your hobby, as in like I like to paint. Go to r/painting so that way you can learn tips on how to paint or something. Reddit's only good for looking up shit, like it's a help desk repository. That's all it's fucking good for.
If I don't get good results for when I ask the internet a question, I add Reddit to the end to find a thread where somebody posted that.
And that's so my Reddit feed is super great. It is just literally programming stuff, 3D printing stuff, and my favorite subreddit, which is r/Herman Cain Award, which is just basically people anti-maskers dying from COVID. And that's all it is.
We went over my Reddit fame a few episodes ago.
Yes.
Where it's like Reddit is just a weird circle jerk place where a weird insular community all agrees with each other and shouts down anyone who disagrees. And so like, there any like from like the Dark Souls Reddit to like Last of Us or any other thing, like there becomes like the correct opinion that everyone holds, and they weed out the people that disagree with them until it becomes just a weird infinite echo chamber of whatever sphere they're in. And so if there's even anything vaguely political or vaguely like anything like that, just takes complete control of the entire thing, and that becomes like the one thing that gets echoed forever. It's like how Am I the Asshole is just a series of lies that people keep telling each other.
Wait, is it Am I the Asshole a lie, or is it? I thought it was it really happened or whatever.
No, you're thinking of r/that happened, which is specifically when somebody posts a story that is obviously like it's r/that happened is supposed to be about posts that are very clearly somebody making something up. And so you're like calling them out for making it up. Basically, you're like, that happened. But
those stories,
Am I the Asshole is supposed to be like these like, here's this incredibly specific scenario. I'm like, I don't know, am I the asshole for doing this? But like, it clearly becomes more and more ideological over time, and like they radicalize themselves essentially to the point where it's just like because points are on for stake, and oh my god, we gotta get Reddit points. People just start lying. They just make up entire stories that are just designed to get points. And spoilers, they're never the asshole because they specifically created a scenario where they're the good guy anyway.
Yep. That's why again, just focus on things that are your hobby that you can go and ask questions about stuff for. So, again, like my 3D printer breaks, I can go and ask, hey, why is my 3D printer howling the fucking theme song from Elden Ring? And someone can tell me, that's because it's catching on fire right now. Please put it off, and stuff like that.
That would do it.
But yeah, I really, 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 really do not like looking at Reddit's like threads, I guess they call them, where people are talking, because it's so bad. It is just so bad. Also, fun fact, they added a new they just added a new NFT thing. So now you can like show off your NFTs as your Reddit avatar, and you get the cool little like Twitter did their little
You
hexagon
mark
or
yourself
whatever.
as an idiot.
Yeah. And so now, like every time I go into Reddit and I look like I want to look at this article for something, I just see a bunch of those user icons. I'm like, I want to die.
Didn't Reddit pull a Fortnite where by default you have to just sit there and hit random over and over again to get your avatar?
You can also customize it, or you can do what a normal human being should do, is upload an avatar and just use that. But yeah, it will like every so often.
If you were a regular
Reddit,
human
like,
being, you would not use Reddit. Checkmate.
That's true. No, I'm sorry. That is true. Fuck, you got me there. If you're a subpar human, you will use a profile picture like God intended. All profile pictures, I really fucking hate site unique or site specific profile pictures. I do not like them. I do not like them at all. I understand you don't want to give everyone the option to upload bad things onto your website because everyone will just upload a bunch of fucking pictures of boobs or whatever as their profile picture. But I think that, like, especially Reddit, I hate their little characters. I think it looks fucking stupid. And every time I see one, I just want to vomit. So Twitter is nice because it just has a bunch of made up little pictures that people use. They're great. I love them. They remind me of old bulletin board systems where everybody had their cool little avatar and you remembered someone by that avatar. You're like, hey, that's the guy with the thing. I remember that guy. I remember him. But no more.
Do people still do that? Like relevant? Because I don't think in my interaction with people on Twitter, avatars by and large tend to be, you know, a representation of the person in a way, in one way or another. But obviously, in like different websites, that there's different. I suppose etiquette wouldn't be the word, but like, yeah. Do people still post basically like a featured image on their profile picture instead of like, you know, hey, this is me or somebody that is like me or something, and they just post like a meme.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Because you said that you look at avatars or at profile pictures and you remember things. Did I misunderstand what you were saying?
Oh, yeah. Do you mean like, do people actually keep them consistent through different websites? Or are you just saying that, like, does every website have a profile picture?
No, I was just wondering what you meant by I remember things when you see one or specific avatars.
Oh, it's like say for instance you I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example here, but it's really hard to, because again, the way that everything is now, you want to be like changing constantly, or like things need to update and you need to be fresh or whatever. But like take like H Bomber Guys had the same Twitter avatar for a while now. So if you saw that and you saw that on Reddit, you'd be like, hey, I know that guy. That's the Balden guy with the wall that he burst through, like the Kool-Aid man. Like you would remember that thing. But
it's Dr. the Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, that guy. And sometimes he wears a lab coat. You're right. He is Dr. Kool-Aid man. And so like sometimes there are people who would keep a consistent branding, like that's who they are, right? They consider themselves their avatar. But that was like, I don't know. I think that's old internet stuff, though. I think a lot of that mentality is like old internet stuff where you would just like, I'm this guy. Where at least whenever I go on like Instagram or I guess that's really the only other website I go to besides Twitter. Like whenever I go to Instagram to look at anime art, I notice that people will just pick random shit. I don't even think it has any relation to anything. They just like, look at this shoe. And I'm like, why the fuck is that your avatar?
Look at this like, shoe. Isn't it great?
Yeah, it's just like a picture. It's like someone just posted a picture of a shoe and was like, that's me. I'm like, is it? It's just a fucking sneaker on the ground. Is that okay? I guess it's fine. And then I like people just have random objects as their thing. And I'm like, is this a fad? Is just random objects a thing now? Or I don't know.
For
I mean, at least have an
furries,
AI
your
generate
avatar
it.
tends to be your character, but specifically if you're an artist, then it's actually, instead of being drawn by you, it's gift art of your character drawn by somebody else.
Which is good, because
It's
again, that's
very
it. You
consistent.
remember, yeah, you remember that person, and I think that's important. I think having, I think it really helps to I don't know, ground your identity when you do that. I think people can sometimes forget that, like, yeah, it's Twitter. You can be whoever you want to be, right? You can just like throw a shoe at your and next to your name and call yourself like Mr. Nike McQueen and start posting whatever the fuck you want. And someone's gonna be like, I'm gonna hold you accountable, Mr. Nike McQueen. And you're like, good luck finding me, suckbag. Tomorrow I'm fucking I don't know. I'm gonna picture of football. I'm gonna be like Madden's lost son. And now you'll never find me again. I'm gonna post more bad stuff. And someone's like, "Oh, Madden's lost son. I'll find you. You're making your dad turn in his grave." Like
Twitter do on Twitter, people do very commonly replace their they replace their username with like a joke or a sentence or a reference of some kind.
Yeah,
and they change them all the time. And so it can be genuinely hard to tell who somebody is sometimes, or what you should like call them if you want to find more of their stuff, because oftentimes their Twitter handle itself is this weird decrepit thing they're stuck with, and that isn't their name. But they don't use their name as their name either, and you're like, fuck.
Yep.
Help.
Yeah.
Me.
It is. It is frustrating, but I don't know. Again, I'm just some old man who's been here too long on the internet, and now I need to just like let young people take over, because I'm hoping they'll just destroy everything, and that will be for the better. Like, I just want them to come through and just fucking
take it out.
It all,
it's time.
Yeah.
The internet's outlived its usefulness.
Honestly, I have my own web zone. I enjoy it. I got like going on YouTube. It really helped me out, fixed a lot of like my life problems. Because there's always some old man who gets to pretend to be my dad for like 15 minutes while I watch his video. And he tells me about why I'm too stupid to do something that I probably should have been taught by a real parent. And that's nice. I like that. That's really good stuff on the internet. And then you have stuff where you're like, well, what's the recommended videos? Like, did you know that you could kill 15 people if you just do this one simple trick? I'm like, actually, no, thank you. I'm going to go
you just go in through the eye socket and
yeah, it's just like, I don't like, sometimes YouTube's recommendations can be a little, I mean, I get it. I don't give the best. I'm not the funnest person for it.
I was going to say, I feel like you might have encouraged the internet to have some worrying ideas of who you are.
I want to look up very specific graphical violent things. All right. I'm not some plebeian who just enjoys violence. Right. I have a very specific palate, and YouTube doesn't have a palate. It's just a fucking all you can eat buffet. And so it just starts dropping fucking chicken wings and mac and cheese and sandwiches and salad. I'm like, I didn't even ask for any of this fucking stuff. Can you not? I will tell you what I want. All right. This is a fucking classy restaurant, and I will order like one. If I wanted you to show me garbage, I would go to the fucking dumpster outside and ask it to show me something, which is called Venmo or Vimeo. Vimeo is what the name of the other service is. But I don't go to Vimeo or Dailymotion or where the fucking other garbage ass places to watch video are. I come here because I want to order high quality food. So stop recommending me shit. I wish I get it. You know,
you should go to Nebula. And now this podcast it's not sponsored.
That's the thing though. It's like I really wish. I get why it's not. I get why you can't do it, because obviously that would cripple the entire industry. But I really would fucking like if you could just turn off being recommended stuff. I just don't. I want
for the whole internet.
I want like
yes,
the whole internet. Just I want a fancy.
They
fucking,
tried to
when
do
I
that
go to a
with the
webpage,
tracking of ads, and if you get the freaking uproar from the
that's
publishers.
The thing. I don't.
That's why every
ads,
single website asks you about cookies.
I don't care about the fucking ads. I don't. You can recommend me whatever ads you want, because I block all of them. I don't care what you do with ads. What I care about.
No, ads are just the tip of the iceberg. It's everything else.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying content. Content's what I care about. Ads can always be as scummy as possible because they're fucking advertisements. That's their entire premise.
Is
they're supposed to be scummy.
Capitalism.
No, content,
everything is an advertisement in capitalism.
Yeah, there's no escape.
So there are two things I want. One, I want every fucking YouTube video. I want every single fucking YouTube video to make it illegal to advertise inside of the YouTube video. I'm done with you. I'm hating you, and I'm going to end it. I am tired of that shit. I hate when I turn on a video and the first thing I hear is sponsored by VPN. I don't fucking.
It's always a VPN now.
If I wanted to be sponsored, if I wanted to watch an advertisement, I'd go on fucking YouTube and type in infomercial from the 90s. I don't want it. Stop doing that. I have an ad blocker for a reason.
It's very specific.
I fucking hate in-video advertisements. They're not funny. They're not interesting. They're really fucking annoying. They always break up the content in the worst fucking way possible.
Sometimes
and I just want to die.
Though.
Like,
sometimes
but they're
funny.
not because it's an ad and ads aren't funny. Like,
my favorite thing is when the sponsored person specifically makes a point to suddenly be in front of a different background while they're doing the ad read, and I'm like, aha, I can tell exactly which part of the video is the ad read now, because so I can just mouse through the part where they have a white background and then skip that part.
Or, now hear me out, I don't want to sound like a crazy person. You could get an extension that's called Sponsor Block, and it will automatically skip those segments for you on YouTube videos, which has been a fucking godsend. Because good God, I literally went to a video where 5 minutes was an ad read. It was insane. But I skipped it all. And it was really great. And I didn't have to see it. And it does it for all my favorite videos. And so I just get to sit there and just skip past all of these advertisements and not think about them ever. And it's like, that's all I want. I want, like, look, internet is turning into cable television. I paid money for this thing. Stop giving me ads. Give me the option to pay a lifetime fee, right? I'll pay like $1,500. No more ads for Andrew. It's over. It's gone. Turn it all off. It's done. He paid the fat stack. All right. I want to be done with it. I'm done with ads. I'm done. I'm not going to click on him. And if I do click on him, I'm clicking on every single ad I see, just so that way the algorithm's like, I don't know what the fuck this guy wants. He clicked on llamas and parkas. Is he going to put the parkas on the llamas? I don't even know. What do we advertise to this guy? Does he need shoes? Do the llamas need shoes? Is there a llama shoe store? Fuck.
It's like more than ever, and it's not like a huge revolution, but it is getting more intensified. Now more than ever, we're getting the distinction between ads and content to be blurred on YouTube and social media. Social media in general, YouTube is a little bit less than perhaps the pictures website and whatever. What's it called? Instagram. That's the one.
Pictures
like, for example,
website.
Pictures website.
Yesterday, I got a video recommended on YouTube called "Why Airbnb is Not Disrupting the Hotel Business," and I was like, "Oh, I don't know that. I would like to know that. Let's click on this video." And I watched 5 minutes. And through the first 5 minutes, it was just telling me that it was like it was written. It was like a 30-minute episode or video, and it was written like an essay. So there's a point, there's an introduction, and there's the whole thing. But the first 5 minutes were
it was
really
all an ad.
It was. I think it was an ad because the first 5 minutes were all about how Hilton is a nice hotel, and it wasn't. It was absolutely 100% written as an essay. It's just I'm pretty sure it was an essay sponsored by a specific chain of hotels, and in particular the Hilton Hotel, because they were really going on about how, oh, this is a hotel for people who with money and whatever. Because I'm sure that it all tied into the whole point of why Airbnb is not disrupting hotels. And by the way, just as a point of, since we're talking about Airbnb fucks historical cities in Europe. It's awful, and not just Europe, but Europe in particular. But for example, Hawaii has the same problem because it raises property values, and it's terrible. It's the worst thing. But that's an aside. What I'm saying is the distinction between like like you're watching a video about the game, and all of a sudden, oh, there's this VPN company that pays me money to say these words. Here's an ad. That's obviously an ad, right? But it's like shaping the content itself, and sponsoring content is much more pernicious. And like, is that an ad, a sponsored content, or things like the Koch brothers owning? No, is it the Koch brothers? Who owns Fox News?
Disney. Oh wait, no,
Is it?
Disney did not buy Fox
No, that's
News.
Fox.
No, they bought the. They bought
Is it
everything
Murdoch?
but Fox News.
Is it the Murdoch thing?
Yeah, I was gonna say Disney grabbed everything else.
Yeah, Disney was like, you can keep that thing that you want.
or no,
let's
I was
see.
thinking Washington Post being owned by.
I mean, it's owned by the Fox Corporation, and the Fox Corporation is owned by Rupert
I'm pretty sure it's Murdoch. Yeah. So basically, in my eyes, anything done by any company owned by Murdoch is an ad. An ad to Murdoch's shithead. That's what it is. But it's propaganda because it's in the whole. It's in the whole like machine for Murdoch's shit ideas of terribleness. But obviously, that when there's less control in a company like, I don't know what television channels are owned by less controlling people than Murdoch. I'm just coming up with examples here, really. Obviously, that line gets less blurred, but when there's just the programming and there's the people who say things, the pivots, the journalists, all that is chosen to fit a worldview, really. And like that is all ads. It's 100% ads, and it's not even like weird subliminal stuff. It's just natural social things that people can understand. Yeah, this person who has tremendous amounts of power and money chooses people to work for his corporations that agree with him and will do what he asks. That's a normal thing that anybody with tremendous amounts of power and money would do. Obviously, yes, the problem is having tremendous amounts of power and money. But yeah, it's what I'm saying is everything is an ad. And like removing yourself from ads is a good thing because objective ads or like blatant ads are bad, but everything else is also bad and can have the potential to be bad, is what I mean to say. Not everything is bad, just has the potential. Am I sounding like a doomer yet? That's
a little bit, but I think you again. I think you can just block ads. Like, I think it's okay. You can just find a way to block ads. But I just feel bad because it just seems really sad. I'm assuming they pay these people money or whatever to do these things. I'm really hoping it's not I hope people have to sign up to my shitty VPN in order for me to get paid. Because boy, howdy,
some of them are.
I feel bad for both like the people signing up for those scams, but I also feel bad for the people that are like pitching these scams and thinking and having to like do that because that's the only way they can survive, I guess, on the platform. It's just any kind of ads, both on YouTube, like if you're watching a video and it plays an ad, those are garbage, but also any kind of in-video ads are also garbage. So it's like there's no way you can escape the literal tractor shitload of garbage that is ads on YouTube without third-party support. And it's frustrating too because so YouTube is its own unique case. I pay for YouTube Premium, right? Because I like to use YouTube Music and I'm on YouTube all the time. I also have an ad blocker for YouTube, which means that I got tired of having to turn it off every time I wanted to watch somebody's video that I like. But then I realized that why am I going to do that? Because these ads are literally fucking trying to kill me. So I might as well just pay for YouTube Premium. And then that way, when I watch a video, they still get money for it. But it doesn't block in video ads, which means I paid money for a premium service to avoid ads. And then there's ads in the video that I paid money to see without ads.
Yep.
It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid.
Well, it's like how you can pay to get rid of the advertisements on Hulu or whatever, but you can't get rid of the product placement.
Yeah, and or podcasts are such a fucking nightmare for this too. Like if you pay for Spotify Premium, you can go be like, cool, I can listen to literally anything without advertisements. And then you start a podcast, it's like, all right, boys and girls, let me talk to you about the next 15 minutes of your life. It's going to be about doing a gym membership. And you're like, why the fuck? Like, what is happening here? It's like, it's insidious and awful. And someone in some kind of position of authority should really do something about it. Like,
No, the people in positions of authority got there because they benefit from the system that exists as of the right now.
you know what?
How
Someone
would
should
they
take
do- why
advantage
would
of the
they do
system
something?
and ruin it so that it can't exist anymore.
You
Like, be
can't-
so selfish that you break the entire system. That's
you
what
can't
I
use the
want to see.
system to break the system. That's the
Oh,
thing.
you want to bet? You want to
The system
bet?
is designed to reinforce itself.
There is no such system that cannot be abused until it destroys itself. That is absolutely
Well, it destroys the
untrue.
planet along with it. That's
That's
one way
fine.
of
That's
destroying
still.
itself.
Hey, look.
Because that's what
I
it's
didn't
doing.
say it.
Like,
I didn't say it had to
even-
be sick. I didn't say I had to survive through the destruction. I just want it to be destroyed. I want it gone and out of here. Break it down. I don't care if that means everyone else has to go along with it, but don't have ads anymore. Whatever it takes, get rid of ads. That's my
End of
monkey
the
paw
world,
request.
but no ads.
Please. Monkey paw wish. Please get rid of ads from the planet. I don't care
No
what you do to
possible
get
negative
there.
consequences. Let's go. I'm not going to second guess this
Exactly.
one for a second.
Nope, not at all. Not
It's
at
one
all.
of those
Not
instant,
at all.
instant wishes. Yeah.
There is no
Press
wrong
red
that
button.
can come from whatever decision is made. If the
Just-
end goal is no advertisements, it's a successful end.
Just muscle
Like,
memorying
perfect.
right past the "Are you sure?" menu.
People don't realize it. They literally do not. Like, it's like when you watch a movie and you realize something's green, like something fake CGI or green screened, and it's so blatantly obvious, and everybody else is like, I think that looked pretty good. And you're like, am I crazy? Am I the crazy one that can tell how bad this looks? Why am I the only one? Like, that's how it feels like. I watch a movie and I see everyone keeps holding a fucking Coke a certain way. And I'm like, that's a weird way to hold a Coke. Why do I always fucking see the label? Like, it's like that
That's
kind
a
of
weird
thing.
way to hold
I
a
hate
Coke.
that.
Why is you
Yeah,
holding a
it's a
Coke like
weird
that?
way. Why would your fingers specifically be not touching any part of the logo? Kind of a weird way to hold a Coke. You're kind of claw fisting it. Why don't you just hold it like a regular person? Oh, do you have to put the fucking name in the front of the camera? That's a weird thing to do unless this is
Why are
a
you holding
fucking
the Coke? Why are
advertisement.
you holding the Coke like you got a Lego hand?
Yeah, and if you're holding it like that, then that means I paid money to go see an advertisement, which I will not do. Thank you very much, because I don't pay money to watch ads. I can watch them for free on the fucking internet. So why the fuck did I pay money to see an ad?
I love your example of watching an ad. It was always like, I will volunteer to watch ads when I feel like it.
Yeah. Like, if I want to learn about a product, I go like, hey, you know what? I would really like a new dishwasher. Can someone inspire me? And I'll go watch a dishwasher ad. And you know what? I have to say, they're not very good dishwashers or dryers or washers or literally any appliance. But what is the shit? I just forgot it now because my brain doesn't like ads. Shit, it's the dishwasher people that
Use your words,
always-
Andrew.
Even
I
you.
know.
The Whirlpool people?
It's not It's not
Samsung?
Whirlpool. It's someone
LG?
else. Shit.
Siemens?
I don't know what it's
Tekka?
named. Fuck. I don't know. There's a dishwasher. It's been around for like 190 years or something like that. It's been around since as long as
Oh.
dishwashers have been around. Which is not a good thing, I guess, because it doesn't matter. But the anyways, they have really good ads, but they're not very good appliances. So, sometimes ads can be just misleading, which is weird. I can't believe they lied to you on an advertisement. I
They
thought the
don't
whole
lie
point
to you if
was-
their ad is good. It's like, why would
I
you
mean,
think
that's-
something is good if the ad is good? That doesn't make any sense.
That's true. You make a good point. But ads are everywhere. Ads are very just everywhere. Everywhere you look. And that's why I'm always impressed when it doesn't bother people. When someone's just like, I could just ignore that, or it just goes, I just tune it out. I'm like, how do you tune that out? It's just in your face all
I
the
don't
time.
think that's true, though.
It's like it's like
I don't
someone
think they
putting their
tune it
hand
out.
right in your face, and you're just like, why? Stop that! Stop it! Like you try. I just want to go down to the store
number of
right
times
now.
I've watched stuff on people's TVs and whatnot where like they're fucking everything they're watching. It's like it's got motion smoothing turned on, and it's in the wrong aspect ratio somehow, and like not all of the colors are plugged in correctly. Like the whole just picture's fucked up. Like I was trying to watch I was trying to watch something. I think it was a DVD on my Blu-ray player on my computer on my monitor, and at some point in the series of steps there, it had turned into like it was stretching the image like the monitor is exactly 16:9 and the movie was something else. And like it was so distractingly wrong. And I'm sitting there trying to fix it, and Steph is like, "What are you doing?" And then she did not at all pick up on even that something was wrong and didn't care. And I'm like, how are you not exclusively aware the entire time of how fucked this is right now? Like,
that's how I feel about CGI now. I think I broke my brain where I used to be able to kind of just sit and enjoy and be like, that's kind of fun. But now my brain's too adept. It knows. Like, I watched a TV show that had a green screen, and I knew it had a green screen. Like, my brain immediately picked up and said, like, oh yeah, the lighting's wrong. And it's like, what? Like, and I watched a movie the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, that's fake. Like, I can tell you every fake part like happening right now. I can see it. I can see the stupid background not matching. Like, why does my brain do that? It sees a thing and it goes like, oh yeah, that's wrong. I'm like, no, don't do that. You can't do that because everything's fake. Please don't do that. It's like, oh, you're right. Everything's like, that's fake. And I'm like, no, stop. Don't make it worse. And it's like, oh yeah, the mountains are fake too because a mountain range wouldn't exist like that because it's based in this location. I'm like, no, stop, fuck. Like, it's just like the brain just keeps going.
No movies are real.
That's why I'm saying like people don't actually tune out the ads. They haven't noticed them in the same way that you have. Like for them, it's just normal. It
must be nice.
It
must be nice to live that way. Like I can't even go to the damn fucking store 5 minutes away from me and not be inundated with ads. Every goddamn minute I'm living is just ads.
The big trick with ads is that everybody says that they don't work on them. But if that was true, then they wouldn't be everywhere. Because everyone thinks they're smarter than the ads and that they're not susceptible. I mean, and I'm like,
I think that's a little untrue. Like, I will say that.
No, I'm right.
Because like, if that's the case, then why are there so many robot spam calls? Because I have never once fallen for a scam on the email.
It's just
email, I mean, that's different. Like, that's different.
There's no way, but it works. It does work. It's a huge industry. They make more money doing that shit than I will make in my lifetime.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's different because it's the same discussions we talked about, like spam emails and how they intentionally misspell stuff because they're trying to they don't want to waste their time with people that'll actually think about it. Like that, you're talking about conning people.
And I'm saying that ads are just conning people. And
in a way, yes, but ads definitely work on people more than they're willing to admit. Otherwise, it wouldn't be just everywhere all the time.
Yeah, when I say like if an ad works on
they're always taking the form that is been like lab tested at this point to be the most consistently effective way of getting people to buy the thing.
I can promise you that all the ads I've seen so far in the few minutes that it takes me to go anywhere in this town, I have never fallen for them. Now, that might be because 90% of them are for fucking cars, and I don't really give a shit, but they don't work. But it annoys me all the same that I have to fucking see them. I don't want to see it. I don't care.
What if I told you you're currently using a product that was advertised in a podcast?
That's actually not true. I am drinking crushed watermelon. It is actually an abhorrent flavor. And I saw it when I was in KP, and I said, that sounds like a disgusting flavor of soda. And so I grabbed it because my brain...
That's the flavor of soda? I thought you crushed the watermelon and was drinking
it. No.
Why is it crushed different than the normal watermelon? What's the flavor difference?
I don't know. The company's called, or the brand's called Crush, right? They usually, I don't know what they usually make.
I don't.
Crush.
I've never seen.
I can't spell Crush. Crush drink. I don't know what they normally make. They make some kind of like orange drink, right? Yeah, Crush Orange. Normally it's Crush Orange, but today
the Crush brand, but it's a watermelon. Yeah. Gotcha. I was gonna say
it's a watermelon flavor.
So yeah, it's not a crushed. It's not a crushed watermelon. It's just a.
No.
There's an orange soda. There's an orange soda brand in the United States called Crush.
Yeah, it's Crush Orange, and I saw Crush Watermelon, and I thought that sounds awful. No one's told me about this because otherwise I would have said that sounds awful. But
so anyway, I'm gonna give the money
now. I decided to grab it. So yeah, and so I gave them money because I want to see how awful this is, and that's it. I am drinking something I was not advertised. So obviously advertisements don't work. You just need to make something that sounds awful enough that people will want to try it out.
My point was that you are I wasn't saying that you're literally currently drinking something that was advertised in a podcast. I'm saying that I know you're using an item because it was advertised in a podcast. And that's because you got it recommended from me, and I heard about it in a podcast. That doesn't count. It does count because it means it worked. Ultimately, it worked twice.
Well, that's because
I did it because you recommended it.
Yeah, but I started using it because it was advertised in a podcast. So they fucking got two of us in one go.
But that's but normally, but no, because one, I didn't use their code, and two, because
that doesn't matter. That only benefits me.
It does matter.
Or the podcaster, but not the product. The product doesn't care what code you used.
No. But the important thing too is that I don't attribute someone recommending me something as an advertisement, right? That's
a blind spot for you.
Is it? I have no human contact at all.
That's the kind of blind spot that's the equivalent of like when fucking game reviewer, like essayist people keep using the word objective constantly because their stuff's objective and everyone else's opinions are subjective. And it's like, no, all interpretations of art are subjective. It's just you are blind to your own biases clearly because you think your stuff is objective, which just means that you're just completely unaware of your own nonsense, and that makes you even less objective, ironically. It's like you being sure
that is actually ironic.
Yeah, but like you having like this thing like, aha, but that doesn't count as advertising. You've failed to grasp what advertising is doing and what it's going for, because that's the whole point.
I think the biggest problem is that you're inverting, and it's not just you, Andrew, and you, Keith, as well, because you just said it before. It's people in general thinking like that. The whole it doesn't work on me. It's totally fair to have that opinion and to be a person who's more resilient. But the thing is, that's not what advertisements are for. Advertisements aren't to sell you something. They are there to sell people something. And if 10% of the people who see an advertisement buy the thing, that's an extremely successful advertisement. 10%. Obviously, 10% is a lot, and we're talking like 0.0001% for many products, especially cars. But car advertisements are some of the most easy to predict returns on. Like they're the most recurring, because it's the kind of purchase, and it's not the only kind of industry that has this, but buying a car is the kind of thing that if you really wanted to not be influenced by advertisements, you would have to go to such tremendous lengths to understand the market that you'd be like a journalist, a car journalist or something like that. And even then it'd be difficult for you to avoid the power of branding and the power of marketing and all that sort of stuff. Like it's a very difficult purchase, and you don't have, if you need to buy a car, you need to buy a car. You're not going to spend like years and years and years thinking of what car you're going to buy.
It's like a bunch of commercials all collectively fighting over your brain over the course of like years to be your next purchase the one time it finally comes up. Exactly.
And not just that, to be your neighbor's purchase, because your neighbors, you notice that the cars have like the brand on them. And they have, like, despite being the same exact cars, like an SUV is the same exact car. Just some of them have better cup holders, and others have the windscreens are a little bit worse. But they basically are the same exact cars, but they all have different branding that is very identifiable, and they look cute or they don't. All of that is advertisements. All of that. You're going on the street, you're seeing adverts, and then when you need an SUV, I'm gonna buy a Mazda. I hear they're whatever, and that's it. That's the average for adverts working.
Oh my
God. Especially if you see a billboard that already reinforces your preconceived notions, because it's in a market, in a zone where there's a lot of Toyotas there, and it's like, oh, I hear Toyota's reliable, and you see an ad that says, oh, buy Toyota. Toyota is, and then fill in the blank, because they do market research to know that what people already think. They look up the people in the zone to think, what do you think of Toyota? And they say, oh, it's reliable. Then that's what they put on the billboard, because that's what makes the billboard effective. And then you see your bias or bias your perception. you see your perception already reinforced. I'm gonna spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on my next car or whatever. It's not hundreds of thousands, or it can be, but whatever. Tens of
That
thousands.
would be a very different demographic you're advertising to at that point.
But they all, even super expensive cars, they also are subject to advertisements in the very same way. It's just obviously there are fewer people like that, and there's a lot of.
It's designed to be a dick measuring contest for very rich people, and the advertising is built around the idea of like, this will finally fill the hole in your heart. This is the one. All that you've worked for, all that success you've told yourself that you definitely earned and it's definitely fair, and because you're so cool and whatever, this will make it feel worth it. If you just get this car, finally. The Ashton
which car?
Wad.
Meanwhile...
Wait, what car? No, what car? What car?
I'm just really interested for someone else.
Yeah.
How do I be happy?
Do you remember?
I just want to watch.
Do you remember Gran Turismo?
That's all.
Did you play Gran Turismo growing up? What was the best car on Gran Turismo?
Why would I?
I played California Speed because you could be a golf cart.
Oh,
what? You guys are terrible. Clearly, you need to play Cruisin' USA because you can run people over in a mall. That's like the only
GTA.
reason to play racing games.
That's Gran Turismo.
Andrew. The mall levels in California Speed.
Oh fuck! You're right.
I was right.
Cruisin' USA is where you run over. You're right.
That's what Cruisin' USA. You run over zebras and they explode into gore.
Yeah, you run over zebras and deer. I forgot about that. You're right.
Armageddon.
Yeah, California Speed was the game where you could drive a golf cart and you could drive through a mall and run people over and they all screamed and flew through the air. But they were stupid cardboard cutout people that they did the same scream over and over again. They're all 2D. It was really goofy and absurd. And specifically,
really
it was only in the arcade cabinet version. I had that game. I had that exact game on Nintendo 64, and being on a Nintendo platform, you do not run people over.
Oh,
the entire mall is like just full of Silent Hill fog on Nintendo 64. It's just a completely empty polygonal mall with nothing in it because they took all the people out.
They bothered to publish that game?
Yeah.
What do you mean bothered to? It's a racing game.
No, on the Nintendo 64. Because
it's not Mortal Kombat where like the whole point of the gore was to run people over. It's just a racing game. Mm-hmm. It's just there were certain racing games for spectacle would have like things you could run over in the level. That was just like a thing for a while.
Makes sense.
It was a good time, and we all had it. So, but yeah, no, that also, those racing games, I didn't play a lot of racing games, because they also had advertisements in them. They were usually one of the first games that had advertisements. So nice try. You can't trick me.
The cars themselves are ads mostly.
The racing games themselves are ads.
Yeah, and if they couldn't get the branding, then they had to like replace the car with like a generic.
Same with sport games. Sport games always had the stupid billboards behind
guns and Call of Duty and military.
Yeah.
No, it's
they
not
use
guns.
They use official or unofficial gun names based on whether or not they could get the branding most of the time.
Wait, there's official gun names?
Yeah, you can't. There's official gun sounds.
Yeah, like
you can't record an AK
like a real AK-47 versus like I don't know the penciler.
What's a fake AK-47? A fake K-47?
There are realistic-ish like shooters out there over the years that all have like fake names for all of the guns because they couldn't get the branding.
What?
Yeah.
Who's gonna sue you for putting an AK in your game?
This goes for both cars and guns. Somebody who's an expert in that stuff can look at the game and tell you like, oh yeah, that's supposed to be a blah blah blah, and they're like, yeah, that's actually a Maserati or whatever. Or that's actually the M15. And it's like they know, like they can tell that it's like it is just this real life thing, but called something else because they didn't have like the branding. That's just constantly a thing.
Oh. I see. The AK-47 is a trademark of the Kalashnikov USA LLC, which is I wouldn't want to get confused with the Kalashnikov Russia company.
Yeah, that one doesn't.
All right.
hold trademarks.
Hey, wait a second. They abandoned this trademark. They haven't renewed it since 2019. I
they
can
changed
take
it.
it now. I own the
that's
AK-47 now, suckers. This is
That's
mine.
that's not how copyright works either.
Nope. Well,
All right, how do
I own
apply-
the
how do I apply
copyright
for-
now.
Google, how do you steal trademarks?
And
I wanna
now
get paid for
Andrew
anything.
How
is
do
in
I
some-
steal?
Legal ways people can steal your intellectual property. This is exactly what I was looking for. Thank
Google,
you.
how do I steal?
Okay, how long do I have to wait after abandonment?
I think you can
Okay,
take
okay.
a
You
can't take
trademark.
because
I
there's
think it
prior
just-
art.
I think it just
You can
becomes
trademark
public.
something. Yeah, you can trademark something because there's prior art. That's the whole thing with prior art or prior whatever it's
See,
called.
I think it's either the original person owns it or no one owns it. I think. I don't think
Well-
you get to like be the new person who owns something. I don't know,
I
the
have
world
to
is
wait
very
10 years
stupid.
for them. So I have to wait for them to not make anything with AK-47 for 10 years.
The world is
Okay,
a vampire.
Okay. All right, I'll wait. In 10 years, I'll be back. No, wait, it's not 10 years.
I'll
because it
be
was...
back.
I'm the
Okay.
vampire here.
Wait, there's two of them that were abandoned. So they own two trademarks for AK-47. Both of them were abandoned. One in 2019, one in 2020. So I got to wait a while. So in like 2030 something, you'll see me. I'm going to be Andrew, the guy who owns AK-47. All right? That's going to be me. I'm going to be that guy.
That
I'll
sounds
own
like a
that.
plan.
It is going to be a good plan. And then I'm going to
Right.
shut down every Call of Duty. All right? They're going to have to pay me money or shut it down. And my money payment's going to be $20 billion. So they're going to have to shut it all down. Go and rename every AK or else I'm suing.
And change
It's
the
mine
sound.
now. Change the sound. No.
The
No,
sound
it
is
has to
copyrighted.
sound like no. If you change the sound, then you need to pay me as well. Because now you're throwing away the sound. You can't throw away the sound. It's my sound. You're not allowed to delete the sound.
This is a normal
Uh,
conversation.
Yeah,
It is a normal
I
conversation.
don't know what to say about that.
But yeah, I didn't know that AK-47 was owned by somebody. I didn't know you could just own the name of a gun, which seems. I mean, I
Yeah.
know
Of
like
course you
Winchester
can.
What do
rifle
you-
was a thing, but I thought
they're not trees.
no, But I thought, here's the thing: is I thought that guns, like again, like I know the Winchester rifle exists, but I assumed that that's just a brand of the rifle. Like I thought like the Winchester rifle isn't its actual gun name. I thought that that's just a type of gun, but like the rifle, like whatever the generic rifle that they're copying is. I thought AK-47 is a generic gun. I thought it's just a
No.
generic fucking machine
No.
gun. Is
No.
it just like, is there?
There's no generic. It's all patented and stuff.
They're all brands? They're just like
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, because they're all
Pepsis of
made by
guns?
someone.
Yeah.
It's like the idea
Well,
of
that's
it's like you're
boring.
asking for like the idea of like a generic car.
Yeah, it's
Like,
a little
well,
bit like
what is that to you? Like, what do you think that means?
I would assume a generic car is just like a Honda but without the logo on it.
Made by who?
By GM.
Anybody can make a fucking
GM's just in the
car.
business of not making GM cars, but like fake
It's
Hondas.
just- I mean, at that point, don't like. Isn't the only thing that most car companies really do is make an outer shell and some kind of inside component, like the way that the inside of the car looks? Where like, oh, then dials are so funny because they look like butts. Like that's all done by the car manufacturer, but the
Yeah, but just
internals
why
are
would
pretty
they
much
not
all the
just
same,
make-
right?
Their car.
Well, the point I'm making is that is like if like all cars are just generic cars. They just look different aesthetically, but they're all cars. Like they're all just regular. I mean, aside from electric and gas are two different types of cars. But the point being is that like how a car runs, like a truck versus a regular car, it has the same components, just different, like a different engine, more or less.
Yeah, and even them
They all-
have enormous amounts of patents in there. Like the basic stuff is not patented anymore. But like there's so
Sure,
many,
yeah.
like-
I mean, I can understand someone owning an engine, right? Because an engine is something you completely customize from the ground up. You
But the
decide.
same goes for like
the-
interior trim and safety
Nah.
protections and seat belts.
Nah.
There's
That's,
all
no, they're
like,
not safety protection. Safety protections are like mandated by law. Like everyone has to have the same amount of safety protections.
No, there's
Uh,
no, they don't. There's cars that have a lot more safety protection and different kinds. Like you can just have the run of the mill seat belt or whatever. But
I thought modern
imagine
cars all
that
had to conform to the same one.
No, because some have like auto stop, others have like parking things, assists. They have also like heart rate monitors. There's like blind spot monitors. There's like all sorts of safety things that.
Well,
you
I
can have,
want
like,
there to
a-
be a generic gun, and I want to buy that generic gun. But it
gun.
must be generic.
Don't
The gun.
look.
I want to
Don't
own.
look those on the internet because you will get on a list.
Yeah, they're called ghost guns. I'm not gonna look up a ghost gun. I want a generic gun. Can I 3D print my own generic gun? Maybe I can try that. That's a good idea.
Don't look
gonna print
that
it
up
to-
either. You will get
I'm
on a
gonna
list.
print it to look like I want it to look like a dragon. I want it to be this gigantic, like huge looking dragon, and then I carry it out and I pull the trigger and it shoots like a small BB out of its like eye and just shoots it. I don't know what direction the eye will be facing. I can't really aim it. It
Depends
just
on
kinda
what catches
shows
the
up.
dragon's eye.
Yeah, there you go. And so maybe I'll have it. Maybe I'll have the eye spinning constantly, so it doesn't know. You don't know where it's gonna go, so you can't be like, you purposely hit somebody. It's like, no, I didn't know where it was going. It's the eye just chooses where it wants to go.
It was reckless
And
murder,
then-
not premeditated.
I didn't say anybody's gonna be murdered. I said a BB,
Oh,
not
it's
a
a
fucking
BB, yeah.
bullet. Yeah, it's a BB. Jesus. I'm not. You want me to be on a list? You want me? FBI gonna come doing the cool little kickflip through my window and crash onto my computer chair and then fall on the ground and look like an idiot and then feel like he has justification to kill me because I made him look like a clown in front of all of his friends because he jumped on the chair wrong. It's not my fault, but he's still gonna take it out on me because I'm gonna be sleeping next door, being like, and then waking up and then having to do like weird John Wick stuff where I like stub my toe on the dresser because it's really dark and I can't see anything. And I'm gonna fall over and roll around, and the FBI agent's gonna trip over me and then like accidentally take himself out. And then I'm gonna keep rolling around, and people are gonna keep tripping on me, and they're like, "This guy's crazy assassin or something." And I'm just like, my toe really fucking hurts, and I'm gonna get up, and then everyone's gonna be taken out, and I'm be like, "What happened?" And then they're gonna be putting a bulletin on the TV and be like, "Watch out for this guy. He took out a whole FBI squad." And I'm like, "Shit, I didn't even know I did that." And then that will be a movie franchise. There'll probably be like 3 of them, maybe 4 of them.
Wait, are
Yeah.
you quoting a movie? This all feels
No.
very specific.
I have no
No,
idea
I'm
what
not-
just happened.
No, I'm not quoting a movie at all. I'm just making up an entire thing on the
Fuck.
fly. That's how easy it is. That's how easy it is to make movies. guys. That's how easy it is. Copyright
Yeah,
should
but
be illegal.
Andrew just goes into
People-
fugue
that-
states sometimes, and I just write him out. There he
No,
goes.
But that's the thing is like, how do you? I don't know. It just that seems stupid. I don't know. Just cars, I guess. Cars, I guess my brain is willing to believe, even though I don't really think anybody makes cars differently. I think every car looks the fucking same. But but guns to me seem comical. I can't believe that there's somebody who's like, "Excuse me, I own AK-47." Like, the fucking stupid gun. Shut up. Move on with your
Wait,
life.
so
Like it's
so cars all look the same, but guns don't all look the same? Guns look so much
No.
the same.
No, some guns have like fancy wooden trim, and some guns are tiny, and some guns are really big. And
But
I mean, they don't
cars
look
are
the
blue
same, but
and green and yellow.
colors don't
white
change
and
anything.
gray. Well, you
Cars
just
don't have
said
wood
that-
trim on it. Cars don't have.
Some cars have
don't
that.
come in like extra large. No, they're different types of cars. There's different types. You have cars and sedans and trucks
You
and
can have wood
vans.
paneling on
like-
your car.
All guns are guns. Like all guns are guns. You have gun, and this gun, and that gun, and that
Hey,
gun.
All I'm saying is pistols in particular look very, very similar. And I think they do because their design is very influenced by their function, but also because there are so many more brands making pistols than there are, for example, assault rifles and stuff. So, like, pistols, they all look the same. It's incredible.
I only know 3 pistols. pistol, revolver, and Desert Eagle, and all three of those look different.
That's
So
Desert
you
Eagle
did
is a
it.
pistol.
That was every gun.
No, but it's a pistol that took steroids. Its face
It's a
is
pistol
really fat.
that
It's like
video games taught us is a cartoon gun of magic.
Yeah. It's really dumb looking. Like if you saw someone with a Desert Eagle, you would probably laugh at them before they shot you because it looks stupid. Like no one
They
would
probably
carry
would
that
shoot you.
around.
If you,
I mean, they probably if they're bringing out a Desert Eagle, but they might like hit. But so here's the nice thing about Desert Eagles is that there's usually like a 60% chance that they're going to hit themselves in the face after they shoot it, and that's like the best part.
you can
about
have lower
like-
caliber Desert Eagles.
I
think the
also
lowest
like my
one's
guns to be comedy weapons.
41.
Yeah, comedy guns. Are the best kind of guns.
Slapstick, death stick.
I kind of wish that you could sneak in comical guns into war, like guns that like shoot boxing gloves. That would be really fun. Yeah, like could you imagine
That's like
both
Gary's
sides just,
mod,
like
but
getting ready?
war?
Yeah, like I'm thinking like Civil War style, right? Everyone had the same type of like in the Civil War, everyone had the same type of gun. It's not like they were being creative.
Just
or, like,
imagining this
fighting
idea,
or
like how
anything.
in like Battlefield, every 1,000th reload, you get a comical, absurd, mega
Yeah.
like reload. We're like, no, it's a tiny gun. But he's talking about like doing it to a human being
Big head
that's
mode.
fighting for their life.
But I'm thinking like it would.
You
but,
get the
for
paint
both
gun.
parties. No, I'm thinking. But
Your gun
again,
is
I'm
the
not saying,
wacky
like,
water gun that the Joker has.
I'm not saying that there's like one guy out there.
Guided missile.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's one guy out there who's like shooting a clown gun and everyone else is shooting real bullets. I'm saying that I wish I could sneak in and replace both parties, like both sides, with comic guns. And so they show up to fight and they're getting ready and they pull the trigger at one another. And it's just like mayhem. Like some are paintball, some are shooting water, some are like, I don't know, making funny clown noises when you do it. It's like honk, 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 honk. And you're like, what the fuck is it? Like everyone's just like terrified about like what, like they can't fight each other. All they can do is just comically slapstick themselves to fumbling to look for something else. Like make it even better tiered. So they're fumbling like, shit, this gun's useless. And they pull out a pistol and they press it and it like, I don't know, shoots like a pie in their face. And they're just like, what the fuck? That nothing works. How are we going to kill each other? And it's just like, people falling over. Now there are pies everywhere. It's just mayhem. But the good kind, the non-death kind of mayhem. Just a bunch of people, a bunch of grown men in a bunch of silly camouflage, slipping over pies and squirting each other in the face with water and being like, ah, fuck. Like that I want to see. I want to do that. That would be great. Like, especially the more tense it is too. Like the final battle, right? This is the fight that's going to change the whole war. And now it's just a comic show. That's what I want. That's what I want so bad. That would be great.
That would be great.
Because imagine you get to be like Willy Wonka. You get to walk on the battlefield, right? You can just walk through the
Andrew's
battlefield.
trying to everything everywhere all at once. The fucking Christmas truce of 1914.
Yeah, that'd be great. But
Just
unfortunately, we live in a boring time.
War
and
is
people
undone
just, like,
magically by Andrew Brain.
No. I'm not fixing war. I'm just fixing one war. I just want to make one war funny. That's it. I don't want to like we have plenty of serious wars. Those will still exist. But I want one war that's fun to learn about. Like that's all I want. The rest of them, every war is so depressing. It's just super sad to learn about. But I want the one that's just about people shooting pies at each other. That sounds like a great war. Totally down for it. Like just I want to read about that one.
War never changes.
Yeah, like maybe, you know what? Maybe make it a world war. I'm down for a world war where we all just shoot pies at each other and water and maybe, I don't know.
I'm down for the
race.
pies.
Yeah, you could just like how nice would that be? Everyone gets like it's like the purge, but with pies. So everyone gets a day to just pie each other. That's it. That's the whole day. The whole day is you go to the coffee shop, you're trying to order an espresso, and someone comes up and says like "fuck you" and hits you with a pie, and you're like, "Shit, today's pie day." And you gotta like go back out and find somebody and get that aggression out on them with a pie.
It's the 14th of March. That's Pie Day.
No. That's the fake Pie Day. That's the one that mathematicians think that they made up, but numbers aren't real. So that one doesn't count. You got to come up with a better Pie Day.
How can it be Pie Day if numbers aren't real? That's irrational.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Irrational would be the
pie
numbers can't be pie.
Yeah, that was
Keith.
the, that was
irrational.
Pie.
That was the math joke.
Oh, I didn't get it.
Because pie is irrational.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Andrew to get it, but you failed me, Colonel.
I have failed greatly.
It's okay. A lot of my jokes are just to make one guy in the audience laugh, and I don't get to hear it.
Wow.
Every now and then they're like, I heard that. I noticed what you did. When everyone else is just like silently listening. And like, everyone just like blazes right past my joke.
And doing laundry. I see you, Jeff.
What?
Damn.
I don't see you,
Jeff has dropped his laundry in fear.
Jeff, you can go back to laundry. It's all right.
Just
I'm
going
not seeing
after
you
them.
right
Oh no, you cannot. It's too late now. You
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff,
one of
you
your
better
one of
run
your
that
shirts
out.
is now a pie.
Yeah.
Which one?
You shall now be
Imagine,
squirting
like,
water
the-
from your socks.
Imagine like the Old Spice style kind of commercial where it's like, look in your washing machine. Now look at me. Now look in your washing machine. This is a pie. And it's like, what? What
Wait,
happened?
that's a style of commercial?
Yeah, you should probably watch more commercials on YouTube.
I don't-
Wait,
I know.
is that
No.
the moral? Is that the moral at the end of this episode? Better watch more commercials.
Don't watch. No, don't do that.
No.
All cylindrical.
All right. Well,
What's
now that
your
we've reached
favorite-
the moral of the podcast, see you guys next time. Send in what you learned from this podcast to dialogchoicespodcast@gmail.com.
I'm not
Is that
paying
the
for
email?
your therapy.
We are always low on questions.
I don't think that's the email. Did you say the email right?
Dialogchoicespodcast@gmail.com. I'm looking at it right now.
Dialogue
yes.
choices podcast, all one word at gmail.com.
Yeah, you can't have multiple words in an email address. I would have said dot if there was a dot, but there isn't.
Did you know
dot.
that
It's
at Gmail, dots don't matter? So if you send it to dialogue.choices.podcast@gmail.com, we will also get it.
this
But don't
sounds like
send
a
there.
this
'cause-
sounds like a trick for you to make sure that their emails are lost.
I will send
Also,
one
you have
right
to spell
now.
dialogue. You have to spell dialogue the way I spelled it because there's two different versions of dialogue. And I
Yes.
did the computer version one. Enjoy that confusion. See
Hmm.
you guys
So
next
I
just sent-
time. Bye. Go to bed or wake up. Get out of bed if you haven't yet. You got to do things.
Doing
What?
laundry.
You just sat here for 2 hours. Get out of bed. It's not self-care. It's depression.
Oh no.
That's sick.
Call out.
Yes.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.